like, what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? Live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'm a living, I'ma live it to death. So what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? And live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given is a gift. If I'm a living, I'ma live it to death. Yeah.
All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Living Hope Agency Call. Tonight, we're talking about treating your business like a business. Okay, I think it's really important that, you guys heard the whole cliche, saying if you treat your business like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby. If you treat your business like a business, you'll get paid like a business. I think that's so true. I think that a lot of us come into this and we kind of treat it as like a lackadaisical thing of like, oh, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, no big deal. But at the end of the day, it is your business. Like, it's something for you to be able to take pride in. And at the end of the day, if it's not treated like a business, you'll crash and burn. I don't know the specific statistics, but 70, 80, 90% of businesses fail in their first 5 years. And that's most likely, many factors, but I'd say one of the factors is that they didn't treat their business like a business. There were certain things that they didn't take so seriously that came around to bite them in the butt. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about a handful of different things in regards to treating your business like a business. And I think that at the end of the day, like a business owner, they don't deal in fantasy. They deal in reality. They don't deal in emotions. They deal in facts. So the first thing I'll say is, if you ever catch yourself saying, I feel like this, I feel like that, stop. Okay. There are no feelings in business. You're going to have feelings, but feelings cannot be over facts. Okay. Facts, data, numbers. I feel like this isn't working. I feel like nobody's answering. Okay. How many times you dialed the phone? We're going to break it down into data to make sure that it's not just some, fantasy thing that you're feeling. It's actually based on data. Hey, I dialed 700 times and nobody answered the phone. Okay, you have data to back that up. Okay, great. You probably got marked as spam. We can solve a lot of problems through actually breaking things down with facts. So just want to start off this call with the reality in business is that everything's based on facts and not based on emotion. Okay, we'll start there. All right, so where I want to go next, and I think this is really important. There's a handful of places I want to go, but I think this is really, really, really important, is that when you're building a business and you come into this, a lot of y'all have never been a 1099 independent contractor before. What does that mean? And what's the difference between that and a W-2? So a W-2 is when you work for an employer, you're an employee, it's a totally different tax form, and they take the taxes out for you. As a W-2, you need to show up when they tell you to show up, you need to work when they tell you to work, and guess what? They remove the taxes for you, and at the end of the year, when you go to do your thing, maybe you get a refund. Well, with a 1099 business owner, you fill out a W-9. Okay, it goes to all the insurance carriers. At the end of the year, the insurance carriers, they send you a 1099, and you're going to get like 10 of them, 12 of them. I think I had like 15 of them last year, where they're going to send you what you made for the year. Now, what the insurance companies don't do, neither in Uber, you're a 1099, DoorDash, you're a 1099, any commission-based sales for the most part, you're 1099. They don't take the taxes out. Okay, so you are responsible for doing that yourself. You're responsible for learning how to be a business owner. So the first thing I'll say, and the first note I'll have you guys take, is 50% of what you make is yours. Okay, 50% of what you make is yours. Now, I'll also even back that up here. None of what you make is yours. 50% of what you make is your business's. Okay, I think a lot of people, they come in here and they go, okay, I went out and I made a commission. That's my money. Eventually, but it's got to pass through your business first before it passes to you. So if you're a wise business owner, which it takes time to be a wise business owner, or you have to learn from somebody else who's done it before you, that you understand that a business needs cash flow to stay afloat. Okay, a business needs cash flow to stay afloat. So what do you do before you pay yourself if you want your business to keep running? Well, let's just take like a simple franchise. Everyone can get behind this, like a Subway. Cost me whatever it costs to get my Subway started, probably $250,000. Now, before I start paying myself a salary and I go and I buy, Lamborghini, do I buy, what do I make sure we're stocked up with bread, meat, and cheese and make sure the light bill is turned on? Yes. Like, I want to make sure I pay into my business first to make sure the business can keep running before I go out there and I pay myself. Okay. So we have to make sure we pay into the business first. So in our business, what are we paying into? We're making sure that we always have leads. Leads are the lifeblood of our business. Okay. Leads are the lifeblood of our business. It means we now constantly have new names and phone numbers, new people to talk to, fresh people. Of course, you can go the friends and family route, make a list of your friends and family. Eventually that's going to run out begging for referrals. You can absolutely do that. I've seen people do it. But at the end of the day, a proven method is you buy leads, you get really, really good at dialing the phone, and a percentage of the people that you call are going to answer, book an appointment with you, and buy insurance if you become a student of the game. Now, if you learn how to sell insurance and you figure out if I spend X and I make Y, I'm going to put part of that back into my business. I'm going to take part of that, it's going to go into my business savings, and the other part is going to remain in my business. Now, I want to make some just different little distinctions here. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay yourself. I'm not saying, because this is a life-changing business. It absolutely is. But before you go out and you start changing up your lifestyle, you need to make sure that you've proven that you can sustain running a business. You've proven that you can sustain the cash flow. Before I go out, my wife and I, we were a one-car family for the first year. I would drop her off at school because she was a school teacher, and then I would go out and I'd run appointments in person. Then I'd come back and pick her up from school, and I'd go back out and run more appointments. We were a one-car family. Before we went out and we got a new car, we made sure that I was sustaining the sales from insurance and that my leads could be paid. I could put money into a savings account. We could pay for XYZ before we went out and got that car. And when I got the car, we didn't go out and get a $900 a month truck payment. Like, we got ourselves like a $350 a month, Toyota RAV4, nothing too crazy. So we made sure we could sustain the sales before we went out and increased our lifestyle. Okay. So 50% of what you make is yours. If 50% of what you make is yours, why is that? Because 20 to 30% of everything you write is going to fall off the books no matter what. And I might be overestimating here, but I'd rather us overestimate than underestimate. Because if you say, oh, I'm really good, my persistency is really high, I think I can keep clients on the books. No. Industry standard says that 20 to 30% of everything you write will fall off the books in 12 to 13 months. So if we know that, we should probably take 20, 30, 40, 50% of everything that we make and put it into a business savings account. Okay. And what is that money for? That money is for on the days when you do have a chargeback. That money is there for the days that you don't have a deposit and you need to buy leads. That money is there for the end of the year when you need to pay for your taxes. Now, I like to make sure I have 20, 30% at least to the side. I know I'm not going to pay 20 to 30% in taxes, but I want to make sure in a world where write-offs don't exist, you would pay 20 to 30%. But thankfully, as a 1099 business owner, we get to write off our leads, write off our business expenses, our flights, food that's business related, all of these things, we get to write it off. So, my first year, I put 30% of the side pretty much religiously. And I think I only owed maybe like 10 or 12%. So I had a lot of extra money sitting in that savings account at the end of the year. And that was money that I could use to kind of refund my business moving forward. So I always, every morning, I'd wake up, I'd look at my deposits. I made sure my business and personal accounts were separate. Business account, personal account, business checking, personal checking, business savings, personal savings. Money would, go into the business account, and I'd take 30% of it and I put it into the business savings every day, no matter what. If it was a $1,000 deposit, a $10,000 deposit, or a $10 deposit, 30% into the business savings, 30% into the business savings. Didn't matter. And on the days where there wasn't a deposit, on the days where I didn't have money just sitting in my checking account for leads, I'd borrow from myself. I'd go into my business savings. I'd transfer $1,000 back into my checking. I'd buy some leads. I'd go to work. I'd help some families. New deposits came in, 30%, 30%, 30%. Did that over and over and over again for my first year in the business and kept my expenses really low. What that did is it bought me a window after I paid my taxes. Of course, results aren't going to be the same for everybody, but after my first year doing 30%, 30%, 30%, I had after I paid taxes, an extra 40 grand sitting in a savings account. So now you can imagine, by doing that, when a chargeback did come, do you think I freaked out? Do you think I started selling out of desperation? No, because I knew that on the days when I was disciplined, I was working hard, I was putting to the side, putting to the side, putting to the side. So when the days that it was really hard, I didn't have to stress out. So rather than selling out of desperation, swinging for the fences, signing up policies I know I probably shouldn't sign up just to get paid, I was being really rational and logical and still helping clients in a way that made sense, trying to keep things on the books, not just swinging for the fences to create more chargebacks, to put myself into a weird hole, not writing random carriers just to get paid. You know, if you have 2,000-3,000 in chargebacks with Americo, but you have 10, 20, 30 grand in a savings account, are you going to stress out and go, I need to go write XYZ carrier so I can get paid tomorrow? No, you're going to go write the carrier that you should write. And you just, at the end of the year, it's going to be 20 to 30%. It's going to fall off. That's just what it is. And if you make 100, you really made 70. So just keep that in mind. So if 20 to 30% falls off the books and I need to pay taxes, I need to pay for leads, then 50% of what you make is actually yours. So just keep that in mind. So if you make 10, don't go spend 10. If you make 10, 5 of it's yours. The other 5 stays in the business. Just start doing that on a daily basis, and you'll start treating it like a business, and you'll be in a totally different spot. Okay. We're not talking about increasing your skills and all that other stuff. Like, that's a whole nother thing. If you start increasing your skills and you go from helping 3 families a week to 12 families a week, while maintaining these principles, you'll have 100 grand in a savings account in the next year. Like, I'm not kidding. And it's crazy to even think about that and to hear those numbers. Nothing's guaranteed, because the only thing that's guaranteed is that you have to work. The only thing that's guaranteed is that if you don't make a sale, you don't get paid. Like, you still have to get better. But if you think about it, if those numbers increase, then so do the percentage you get to keep. Okay. And then guess what? You won't have to have all of it given away for taxes, all of it for leads, all of it for that. But you'll be surprised at the end of the year how much you have left over that then, you know, my wife and I used it as a down payment on our house when we moved. You know, we were able to do that over the course of a couple of years, build that up, but we proved that we had the consistent production before we went out there and took money out for that specifically. So you got to treat everything like it's a business, prepare for chargebacks, pay the business before you pay yourself. Don't increase the lifestyle until you prove the results over a sustained period of times, understanding that leads are a non-negotiable expense. Like, would you not pay your rent? Would you not pay your light bill? Like, you have to treat leads like it's one of your basic utilities to stay alive. Like, leads are the lifeblood of your business. And if you're like dealing with a cash flow problem, when was the last time you had leads injected into your business? If any of you say, like, the last time I bought leads was 3 weeks ago, that's the problem. Like, the top producers are buying leads every 2 to 3 days, sometimes every day, at minimum once a week, minimum. But most of us are buying them every 2 to 3 days, if not every day. There's some people on here that are, I'm trying to say this in the best way possible. Top producers are like crack addicts for leads. You know, sometimes we're in the CRM at 2 a.m. looking at, did the new age mortgage drop in the area that I want? Like, we're hawking leads, because buying leads is also a skill set. It's not just a discipline, but it's a skill set, knowing how many leads to buy, where to buy them, what I like working, when they're available, all of those things. So, like, leads have to be an absolute non-negotiable for your business. You have to get good at buying leads. You have to get comfortable with buying leads. And if you develop the skill set, there's nothing to be afraid of. I understand, like, being a business owner, spending money, all of that stuff. Like, I don't know if that's what I signed up for. I just wanted to be able to make sales and make money. But, like, to run a business, you have to spend money. So if it's the Subway franchise, I had to spend $250,000 up front, plus the rent for the building, plus the lights, the utilities, bread, meat, cheese, employees, et cetera, et cetera. If I'm in a business like Sean and I'm doing real estate investing, you know, I have to get the mortgages in my name or my company's name, and then get the renter, and then the renter will pay me. Like, there's expenses in any business. Okay. If you can find a business with no expenses that takes no work, tell me about it. And, you know, we'll all sign up. But, like, this is our version of running a business. And the idea is we want to get you a return on your investment. We'd like to get you 4 to 5 times what you put in on your lead purchase. So if I put in 1,000, I'd like for you to be getting 4,000 to 5,000 back. And that's the skill set that you should expect of yourself. That is what you should expect out of yourself, to be able to seriously be doing this. And then you should be graduating to, like, I want to 7 to 10x the money that I put in. That's what I want to do. If I can 7 to 10x the money I put in 1,000, I get 7 to 10 out. That's incredible ROI. No, you're not going to do that overnight, but that's like what you should be thinking about. Like, what's my ROI? How can I get better? If I treat it like a business, the goal is to increase my return on investment over and over and over again. So you're going to have to learn how to run a business. You're going to have to learn how to steward your cash flow. And you're going to have to learn how to manage your income and expenses. This was something I was very uncomfortable with because I was horrible at managing my income and expenses. I never had a budget before I joined FFL. I was bankrupt in 2017. I made a bunch of money in my past, lost it all, got it back, lost it all again, had all my stuff taken from me, was in debt, owed people money, all the things, because I never treated anything like it was a real business. I just treated it like, oh, if I keep working, it'll come back. You got to know what's coming in and what's going out. Just like when we're sitting down with our insurance clients and we ask, hey, Bob, how much do you make? Mary, how much do you make? What's going to be the financial situation if one of y'all passes away? Okay. And we need to make sure this insurance is going to be affordable. Like, why don't you break down your own finances like that and like figure out what's coming in, what's going out, and how you're going to sustain your business moving forward. Okay, I need to make sure I have leads, so I probably shouldn't go do this. And then eventually you're going to notice that there's a big overage there. And like, yeah, now you can go from, cheesy broccoli, $1 packets of rice and ramen noodles to like, oh, we're going to buy all organic groceries now. Okay, great. Like we can sustain that. That's pretty normal. Okay. Now I'm going to take that money and instead of putting it into the $200 a month cable bill, I'm going to put it into, a better cell phone and internet package for my iPad and all these things to help like increase my business and make it better. So like now you have business expenses. So it's like, I've got my leads, I've got my internet, I've got my devices. As it starts to go, I got staff, I've got marketing, I've got software. If I told y'all, and I guess I will tell you, my running expenses for my business right now are close to 30 grand a month. Okay, so obviously a lot of that is staff. I have 4 full-time staff. So you can imagine people making $1,000, $2,000 a week. That can add up pretty quick. But I probably have $2,000 a month in software, a few $1,000s a month in marketing, money in VAs, $10,000 a month in leads. Obviously, none of y'all are going to get there overnight, but like you have to start thinking. So like I was someone who was notoriously horrible at stewarding my money. So like this was something I was very self-conscious about. Like, am I going to be a good steward? Can I manage that kind of cash flow going in, coming out, going in, coming out? Obviously, I've help. I've got a CPA now. I've got somebody who actually helps me. We've got a great CPA for insurance. If anybody needs one, like please reach out and we'll definitely help you if you're getting to that point. But she literally sits down with me and we break down what comes in, what goes out, what are my expenses, personal and business. We break it down every single month. You have to treat it like a business. Okay, so that's where we're going to go when it comes to the finance side. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more on the emotional side. As a business, it's not just all sunshine and rainbows. People are going to quit on you. You're going to face rejection. I think that's everything. How many times when you own a storefront, do you say, hey, can I help you? No, sorry, I'm just looking. Like, just rejection. People say no. You can't take it personally. Like if I own a coffee shop and someone comes in, they're like, oh, I thought this was a restaurant's coffee shop. I hate coffee. Like, okay, no worries. And like they leave. It's like, okay, no big deal. Like some people don't like coffee, whatever. Some people don't want to protect their family, whatever. Next, there's plenty of other people who do. I got 100 leads here. And just because 85 of them didn't answer, told me no, told me to F off, but 15 of them did answer, do I focus on the 85 or do I focus on the 15? Focus on the 15. Put all my effort into the 15, work that 15, put the 85 into systems like Lead Champ Pro and TurboText and Zepo and all these things to help squeeze the leads, get some extra text appointments, etc. Do what I have to do. Then I move on and I buy another batch of leads and help the families I can help. And I don't take it personal when people say no. So I don't take it personal. If Kasha's my client and she says no, I'm not mad at Kasha. I'm mad at me. So I'm like, what could I have done better to relate to her? Like, could Sean have helped Kasha? Probably. Could Grady have helped Kasha? Maybe. Like, who out there could have helped her? Like, somebody could have. Like, I didn't. So, like, do I blame her? And I'm like, oh, she was so rude and so mean. She just didn't want the insurance. Or do I go, man, I wasn't very good at connecting with her. I obviously couldn't figure out the why there. I couldn't figure out why this was important to her. I couldn't, like, are you taking personal responsibility? Like when you get a rejection, are you getting mad at the client? Or are you getting mad at yourself? Like if you're getting think about it over and over and over again, and you're like, man, these leads, they all just want to think about it. Nobody's a serious buyer. Then you look at somebody else who's dialing the exact same leads and they're helping 5, 10, 15 families in a week. It's obviously not the leads, it's you. So you have to like be able to have that level of self-awareness that I have to get better. Like that's the number one determining factor if you're going to make it in this business is, are you willing to get better? No matter what, am I willing to get better? Because the rejection will be there. It will 100% be there. But like your choice is like, am I going to get better at navigating that so I get less of it? Like that's it. You're going to learn it by either going, hey, I'm just going to go run 10,000 appointments and eventually I'll figure it out and I'm going to get better at this. Or you're going to do it over. You takes time, but you're going to do it over and over and over again until eventually you figure it out or you quit. So you got to get better. You absolutely have to get better. And then you're going to start building a business. You're going to start bringing agents in. And guess what? People are going to quit on you. There's going to be other people who join this. And even though you're treating it like a business, they won't. You know, there's some quote that Sean Mike says from a movie somewhere. I'm going to butcher it. But he said, if there's like 100 people going to war, it's like 90 of them shouldn't be out there at all. 10 of them should be. And then there's like one person who's like the leader and the warrior in the entire group. Well, that's the same thing with building a business. Like most people aren't going to treat it like a business. If you recruit 100, probably 10 will actually treat it like a business. And then you'll have one who will self-select and decide they want to be that Hall of Fame producer or that top manager, that top agency guy, like what, or girl, whatever that is. So you just have to understand that. Understand the reality. Not everybody is going to self-select to work on Saturdays. Not everybody's going to self-select to buy leads every single week. Not everybody's going to have these incredible habits. And of course you can push people, but like, it's just a sorting game. Like, again, if I start treating it like a business, do I get emotional if I go, I recruited Sean Simpson, he has so much potential, but he's just not doing it? You know, yeah, I guess I could get emotional about it because like I know what he could do, but like I can't make him do anything. Or do I treat it like a, you know, a deck of cards? This is an old network marketing analogy. I'm sorting, you know, hey, you know, a 6, an 8, a queen, a jack, an ace. Okay, great. I have found an ace. There's 4 aces in a deck, but like the only way I find the aces is if I flip through the cards. And do I get emotionally attached? Like, man, I really, really hope this is an ace. Crap, it's a 3. It's a joker. Crap. Okay. Or I keep going until I find the right people. So you just have to have that mentality of, I have to sort, I have to keep moving, I have to keep on selling, I have to treat it like a business. I can't get emotional. I just do my job. And there'll be other people out there who are going to want to do their job too. So we can't be emotional. Next couple things here. I think this is a big one. What level of professionalism and marketing yourself do you have? Now, I understand not everybody's going to build a business, but like, even if you're a solopreneur, like, I think there's something about just like how you carry yourself. Like, are you the person who gets on Zoom and like, it looks like you've like at least put yourself together today and showered, you know, and like, I'm going to be on Zoom today and I'm ready to work? Or are you the person who looks like you just rolled out of bed? Are you the person who, you know, has a picture of your forehead as your Facebook profile, or like you got a nice headshot? You know, like, what's that level of like professionalism? We're going to treat it again like a business. Like, you guys are probably gonna be so sick of hearing me say treat it like a business by the end of this call. If I had one of these AI bots take notes on the call, they probably say I said it like 600 times. So it's too many times. But the purpose is sound like a broken record, because at the end of the day, that's it. That's what we're trying to teach y'all. So marketing yourself, like, not just, you know, on social media. You hear market yourself, like a lot of y'all just think, oh, I got to look good on Facebook, got to look good on Instagram. If you're going into the in-home, like, are you the guy who just kind of shows up in your gym shorts? Or like you come in, like you comb your hair, and like, I'm not saying go wear a suit or anything. I'm saying, you know, comb your hair, put on a nice pair of pants and a decent pair of tennis shoes that don't have mud all over them, nice t-shirt, polo shirt, whatever, you know, and go in and help the client. You know, if I'm talking to the client, am I lounge back in my bed? Like, I see this whole thing of people like work from anywhere, work in my PJs, and they're like literally lounge back in their bed dialing. I don't work well like that. I don't know about y'all, but like I need to like be at a desk. I need to be standing up. I need to like, I can't be lounged. If I'm lounged, I'm gonna fall asleep in 2 seconds. I got kids who stay up all night. So that level of professionalism, how you carry yourself, how you are in front of your clients. It's not just how you look, it's how you act, it's how you talk. The level of organization, your clients, they can feel all of that. Okay. So I'm going to kind of take this a little bit of a different route now in regards to how do I minimize my chargebacks by being professional? Okay. So are you the person who you do telesales and when you get off the phone, you go, hey, Mary, your policy was approved by. Are you the person who, when you end the phone call, you say, hey, Mary, your policy was approved. Here's your policy number. Let me know if you need anything. Bye. Or are you the person who says, hey, Mary, just so you know, here's your policy number. I'm going to send you an email. It's going to have this, this, and this, couple of different documents to follow up. Hey, we're going to call you back in a couple of days to make sure that you got your policy in the mail, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, here's my number. Here's my office line. Here's my national producer number. You can go verify me, check into me. What's that level of detail? You're making the client feel a little bit more secure. Back when we were doing in-homes, it was the person who would like leave a sticky note on the table basically with their name and the policy number, and that was it, versus I'd leave behind, a red folder that had my business card in the tab that had the brochure here, brochure there, all their policy info, told them that when their policy came in the mail, shove it in this folder, put it in your safe. Like no one was coming behind me to replace my policy. I'm not the guy who likes to tell people they're approved on the phone or approved in the home. I always like to tell people they haven't been approved yet and that we'll call them back to let them know they've been approved. When I was first getting started, what I do, I call them. Hey, Mary, it's Jamie calling to let you know your policy's been approved. Versus now I have a virtual assistant who calls and says, Mary, hey, this is Gia. I'm just giving you a call from Jamie Chirio's office. Like, oh, Jamie Chirio's office. It's my VA's in the Philippines, but like, how legit does it sound? I'm calling from Jamie Chirio's office to let you know the status of your policy approval. Hey, I'm actually looking at the computer now. It's loading. Oh my gosh. Congrats. You got approved. No one in your situation ever gets approved. That's amazing. Like I have a whole script for my VA. That's amazing. I can't believe you got approved. You should not cancel this policy. That was a really big deal. You went ahead and got approved. Let me go ahead and verify your policy number, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, we're going to go ahead and follow up with you, find out when your policy came in the mail. If you want to get back on Jamie's schedule, I can go ahead and do that. And we can go from there. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Like the level of professionalism, now it's not just me, some random dude over the phone or came to their house, sold them a policy. It's like Jamie's got an office. He's got an assistant. Like you can make yourself seem a lot bigger than you actually are. When I was brand new, it was literally just me, 20-something-year-old guy. And then like I had a girl from my church was calling and letting them know that they've been approved, but they're like, oh, you're calling from Jamie's office. Okay, great. Like he's legit. Now it's my virtual assistant that's calling. And same thing. Now they get an automatic email from my virtual assistant from my email every single time that the appointment's over with everything that we just went ahead and did, a summary of the call, all of their info, insurance protection notices that say things like, if another agent calls and pretends to be my manager, ask them this, and this, and then hang up the phone. There's different things that you can do to bring that level of professionalism to your business to minimize those chargebacks. So you just making sales and just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping they'll stay on the books? Or you letting the client know that you're their insurance agent for life? And if they need anything, you're going to be there. Guess what? Like I have clients who call us for customer service. And then a lot of us, we don't answer the phone because we think the client's calling to cancel. A lot of the times they need to update their beneficiary, update their payment info, like all kinds of stuff. I don't want to do that. Like I'm happy. I think that we should do that. I don't want to. So guess what? My virtual assistant does it. Calls the carriers, updates it, fills out the forms, gets them to sign things, all that stuff, puts them back on my schedule if they need more insurance or if they want to cancel their insurance. But it's like, I want to do what I do best, which is sell more insurance. So from a professional perspective, if I don't have anybody in the back end kind of cleaning up what I'm doing, I'm going to lose more than 20 to 30%. So anybody who has like a bad persistency issue, if you're like having 40, 50% fall off the books, that's bad. It's really, really bad. And if you keep that up, you're going to lose your contracts with the carriers. They don't mess around. 70% persistency or you're out. So if you got less than 70%, we need to work on it. We need to do something right now, or you're not going to have a contract in the long run. Okay. So it's really important that we take this stuff seriously, because it's not just about your chargebacks and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Like you get terminated, like you just promised that other client that you were going to be their agent for life, and now you're gone. And now when someone dies, they don't have anybody to call. So like at the end of the day, like your contracts, all that stuff, your level of professionalism, it's going to affect what stays on the books. It's going to affect your client's experience in the long run, whether it's really hard for them or really easy for them to get a hold of you. You don't answer the phone when they just wanted to change their payment info. They're going to cancel. They're going to let it lapse. If you don't answer the phone when maybe they were like, hey, I just had a question about something. I am kind of skeptical, but like you're avoiding and dodging their calls because you think they're going to cancel. They're definitely going to cancel. So you got to keep these things in mind. Again, treat it like a business. If you're not the person who wants to field every single customer service thing, then get someone who will. And honestly, if you're not helping 5-10 families a week, you still have the capacity to field that stuff. But also, if you're still fielding that stuff, I also think that's the reason you're not helping 5 to 10 families a week, because you're spending time doing busy work that you actually shouldn't be doing. So lots of things to keep in mind, but that level of professionalism is a really big deal. Last couple things we'll kind of dig into. I think scheduling is a big one. First time 1099ers, you're your own boss for the first time. I know the first time that I was my own boss, I was a horrible boss to myself. Oh, I'm 1099. Don't have to show up at 9 anymore. So wake up at 10, eat breakfast at 11, hang out till 12, start working at 1. Like we've all done it. Or you're not disciplined with your schedule at all. So I'll keep this one short because I think it's very self-explanatory. When you're brand new, you have to treat yourself like you're an employee and you're about to get fired. Treat yourself like an employee that's about to get fired. Set hours, set a schedule, stick to it, and pretend like if you don't stick to it, you're going to get fired. You're not actually going to get fired, but you will fail in the business if you don't take it seriously. Like the business will fire you. Like the entrepreneur gods who don't exist, but they'll fire you. Like that's what's going to happen, is like the business is going to kick you out of it if you don't take it seriously. So if you take it seriously in the beginning, what do they say? Is it the hard way becomes the easy way and the easy way becomes the hard way? So if you do like the hard part in the beginning, it becomes really, really easy to stay scheduled and disciplined. I was the worst. I hated being on a schedule, hated scheduling things out. Now it's like every minute of my day is scheduled out. I'm not like a crazy person, but like I block it out. So it's like, okay, from this time to this time, I'm with my kids, we wake up, we do breakfast, etc. From this time to this time, I can get these things done. From this time to this time, these are the windows in which I'm setting appointments. These are the windows in which I'm running appointments. This is the window in which I'm going to get my kids to bed. This is the window in which I'm going to do this. Like setting yourself up for success. Like go to bed tired, not bored. Like I used to go to bed bored a lot. And when I would go to bed bored, I wasn't going to bed till 2-3 in the morning. And that's the reason why I wasn't waking up until like 10. Now it's like literally, if we shut this call off and I shut my eyes for 2 seconds, I would be out in like literally 30 seconds. So you go to bed tired, not bored, because you're filling your schedule with productive activities. Things are going to help you grow. And trust me, like scheduling in family time, scheduling and all of that stuff. Working for a really long time, scheduling, family time. I'm headed to Oregon tomorrow with my family to be able to go back and visit family, to do a little bit of relief because I've worked really hard for the last 60 days. And I promised my wife, hey, we'll go take 4 days here once I do X, Y, Z. So scheduling in the family time. I don't work Sundays. If you text me on Sunday, I might text back. If you call me, I won't answer. I don't do that. If you call me at 2 a.m, I don't work at 2 a.m. anymore. But like scheduling in that time. I schedule in breakfast and dinner time with my kids because that's really important to me. There's sometimes that I miss it. Sometimes we got to have a babysitter come over and help, but we schedule that stuff in. So you have to treat it like you're an employee in the beginning until you earn the right to build your own schedule. Like if I were you, I would treat it like, man, this is like a really crazy job. Like you ever see those movies where like the guy, he's like a first-year intern at like some crazy New York law firm. They're like, yeah, you're here from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you leave before 10 p.m. in your first year here, you're fired. Like I would treat it like that in my mind of like, man, from 7 a.m. to whenever, I'm dialing. I'm booking appointments. I'm taking this seriously because the more we condense the time in the beginning and the learning, that's when like all of the results come, like condensing all of that learning into a short period of time. And then you can kind of take your foot off the gas and ease back. Like the idea of, I want to run 100 appointments. Once I run 100 appointments, I'll know what I need to know. Are you going to run 100 appointments this year? Or are you going to run 100 appointments in the next 30 days? The person who runs 100 appointments in the next 30 days can then ease back and they can run 20 appointments a week. 30, 40 appointments a week's the goal, but like, how fast can you get through it? Because then at that point, you can kind of ease back and figure out your level of production, because now you've learned it and now you've proven that you can do it. So following that schedule. And then last thing is like thinking long-term. So like if you're brand new, are you thinking in a course of like, if I don't find success in the next 90 days, I'm out? Or are you thinking like, what happens if I'm here a year from now? Like 90 days to a year. And if you've been here for a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, are you thinking about, man, I wish I'd be further along? Or are you thinking about, where could I be in 10 years if I keep this up? Like this is a 1-year game. If you're brand new, can I be here a year from now and survive and thrive? If you've been here a couple of years, it's not a couple of year game to retire. It's a 10-year game to retire. Like I look at my career, I've been in business for 11 years. I've been in insurance for 3 years. I'm not where I want to be in insurance, not even close. There's not enough people who are where they want to be within our group. But it's like, do I get mad that I'm not where I want to be within 3 years? Or do I say, this is the longest I've ever been at one opportunity in the course of 12 years. So like, maybe I just need to keep going. And like, where could I be if I'm in one opportunity for 10 years? Like what's possible there? Like that's the long-term game that you have to be thinking about. Once you know you're in the right industry and the right business, rather than jumping around looking at all the shiny objects, can I get really, really good at this one thing? Can I get really, really, really good at it? And can I see myself building it long-term, not just a year from now, but 10 years from now? Some of y'all can't wrap your mind around 10 years. So wrap your mind around 1 year if you're brand new. If you've been here 2 years plus, you got to start wrapping your mind around 10 years. What's my life going to look like? How good am I going to be at helping people with insurance? What's my team going to look like if I keep doing this consistently for 10 years? The goal is not to have 1,000 people in your group. If you got 20 agents doing 20,000 a month, and you got 20 points in spread, that's 80,000 a month in overrides. You don't need 600 agents. 20 agents, you work yourself up to a 140 in comp. You hire people in between 100 and 120. 20 agents doing 20K a month at 20 points of spread. It's 80K a month in overrides. 20 good agents. This business can be life-changing. It's not going to happen overnight. So like, do you get mad that you don't have 20 agents in your first year who are doing really well? Because to get 20 really good agents, you're probably going to need some mediocre and bad agents too. But just keep that in mind. Are you mad you don't have your 20 good agents right now? But 10 years from now, you absolutely could. 5 years from now, 3 years from now. So long-term game. And then perspective. And this is what I'll end with, perspective. What some of y'all have come from, all kinds of different careers. Okay. The year before I came here, I did a lot of things, but right before I came here, but this is before anybody knows my story. I worked for Grady for a little bit. The year before I came to FFL as a staff member, when it was all said and done, I was able to pay myself $19,000 for the year. Because after filing bankruptcy, after trying to build up a business, and it's funny because the business was $1 million business, and I was only able to afford to pay myself a little over $1,500 a month for the whole year to run that business. Perspective. Anytime I'm mad about not being further along, or this business being hard, or having to steward all these things, I think perspective. What did I make the year before I came here? So like, you get mad because it's like, oh man, I made a few $100,000, but like I also had like $100,000 in expenses. This is really hard to manage all of this. Perspective, like what were you doing before this? Is there anywhere else that you were at where you could earn $10,000 in a week? So it's like perspective, like what else would I be doing? If I didn't find this, if I don't succeed in this, what am I going to do? Because I'll tell you this right now. If you don't find success here, but then you decide you want to go over to some other business to find success, any business, any industry, they're not just handing out $10,000 a week in opportunities for doing nothing. Like it's still a lot of work. Like no matter what, it's a lot of work. So whether it's here or somewhere else, you're going to be working your butt off to be able to earn that kind of income. You are. But there's no job out there. There's only business where you can do that, by the way. Business and sales is the only place you can earn $10,000 a week. Unless you are going to go and be a lawyer at a top New York firm or a top engineer at one of the top car places or NASA or something. Like, you're not going to go earn $40,000 in a month in a job. You're not. So it's like kind of like your mind once expanded can't go back. Yeah, that's good, Sean. Hard work's everywhere, even at Walmart. That's a fact. That's a fact. Stocking shelves at 3 a.m, putting on roofing shingles in 120-degree heat and humidity in Texas. Like, a lot of us sit in a air-conditioned office and we dial the phone. We think it's hard. Then you help a family and you make between $1,000 and $2,000. And then we cry when we have to spend some money to run our business. Perspective. I would rather be doing this than just about anything else. The potential for growth here is insane. It's absolutely insane what it could do for you. So just what else would I do if it wasn't this? And there are other opportunities out there, but there are no opportunities out there that are just handing out fortunes for doing nothing. There's none of them. No matter where you go, you want to go sell cars, work your butt off. Sell solar, work your butt off. You want to go to another insurance company, work your butt off. Like, there's nobody making $300,000-$400,000 a year who's not working their butt off. And I'll end with this, the whole, people want to make doctor money, lawyer money, engineer money, but they want to put in like part-time fast food hours. Like, doctors, they work 12 years, something crazy, like undergrad, master's, doctorate, and then they got to pay back all their student loans. Like, engineer, et cetera, lawyer, like how hard do they work to be able to earn that kind of money? And it's like, we're not willing to put in a year. Like, a doctor put in 12 years to be able to earn that kind of income. A lawyer, like, they had to pass the bar. They had to go intern and do this and get people coffee before they could actually like go and make good money. And it's like, we have an opportunity to do it right now, but like, we're going to put in 4 hours a week versus like the doctor's putting in 12 hours a day. Like, you want to earn doctor money, but you're putting in 4 hours a week. Are you kidding me? So it's like doctor money, lawyer money, engineer money, athlete money. Like, do you realize how many times a day those guys work out? Like, there's a reason they're a professional athlete. There's a reason they earn what they're going to earn. So it doesn't matter what industry it is. Everything's hard. Everything's really hard. But I love insurance because eventually, if you do it over and over and over again, it doesn't seem that hard. It's still hard work, but like, knowing what to say becomes very easy. Knowing what to say becomes very, very easy. And then the work is just the work. Like, you're still going to make the dials. You're still going to do all the appointments, but at least you know what to say. At least, if I help this many, or if I sit down with this many families, I know what to say, and I'm going to help probably half of them, if not more. Like, it's an incredible skill set to learn. So treating it like a business, that's what it's all about, guys. Taking personal responsibility, deciding I'm going to learn how to be a business person. The bunch of y'all on here, I guarantee you're like, I'm not business minded. Get business minded. Talk to somebody else. Ask them to help. Personal development. Like, listen to The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy to start. If anyone's never read that book or listened to that book, read that one. Get on Audible right now. Go on YouTube. Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And then keep going, because there's about 1,000 other books that would help you continue to go. And like, trying to grow yourself. Like, don't just listen to FFL podcasts. How are you growing outside of this? I'm currently reading Alex Hormozy's $100 million offer book, because I'm trying to figure out how to make our Lead Champ Pro offer the best offer for our agents. How it can be the absolute best program with the most value for our team. I'm trying to grow myself professionally outside of this. So like, are you growing personally? Treat your life like you're taking it seriously. I got a million other areas in my life that I still need to take serious, but when it comes to the business keeps the lights on and keeps my family fed. So that's really important. So guys, this is the best business ever. Cheesy cliche. We always say it. I haven't found anything better. If anyone wants to debate me on why another business is better, let's talk. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. But I haven't found anything better. It's all hard work. business is hard, life is long, but we got a pretty cool group of people that are all doing this together, and we're all trying to grow together. So guys, I appreciate y'all. We will be back on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the Insurance 101. Otherwise, I'll see y'all here on Live Dials. Everybody have an amazing night. Talk to y'all soon. See ya.